Of the tiny house. I'm Rob. Nice to meet you. All right, so we've opened up all the doors already. You got big storage right here. So we'll start, I guess, on this corner. You got big storage here. I'm gonna grab this right now and I'm gonna show you. This is where you keep the sewer line. This is the nasty part, right? It's not nasty as long as you follow the instructions. So I try not to touch like the ends. Normally they're cleaned off and rinsed, but I'm not using gloves. So I'm not too concerned, but I try not to put my fingers on the ends. So normally I'll walk around like this. We're gonna bring this around to the back. There's a door right here. You'll never touch it. This is to get access to the water pump. So you have big storage up here. These are your hookups. These two are your hookups. So when you get to your campsite, you're gonna do water and electricity. Number one is water. You already have water. This is how you fill it with a normal hose. So you would hook this up to the one side on the hose. You would put this in here and you would just stand here and wait. Close this so the water doesn't go into electricity. Stand here, wait, and then it'll start pouring out. You're full. The tank is full. So that's how you fill up the tank so that when you're driving around, you have water. If you're at your campsite or at the house or wherever you're parking and you want to have higher pressure, longer showers, you don't have to worry about plugging it in, or you don't have to worry about running out of water. This just screws right on here, just like a normal hose. Just like a normal hose. And then the other side will make sure you have this adapter because it's your pressure regulator, and this one will just plug right onto the spigot from your house or the campsite. Turn on the water, make sure it's not leaking, and you're gonna have higher pressure in the rig. Super easy. Before you leave your campsite, make sure you fill it up because you don't want to get stuck with the bathroom not working or something like that. So just make sure you fill it up, wait for it to fill up, and you're done. Okay, so that's the water. Put that back in here. This is your power. So when you're driving along and you want all the power to work, you're typically using the generator, right? But when you're at your house or your campsite, you're going to, you see here, if you go in here, you have a plug, you unplug it, because that's the generator power right there. And then there's another adapter in here, right there, okay. Most places you're gonna be able to plug this directly into the campsite plugs. However, if you're at a house, you'll wanna use the adapter. Now, one thing to be certain for on the adapter, these do draw a little bit for the AC, and so you don't want to use regular extension cords. See how this is big and thick? It'll take extra power, whereas if you have an extension cord, it can melt, it'd be a fire hazard. So this is like a 30-foot long power cord. So you shouldn't need to use an extension cord, and if you do, then just use it for battery charging, but not microwave or AC. And then I'm gonna plug it back in so that it's ready for the generator to work. And that's all you do. All right, going forward, we got a couple plugs here that only work when you have a generator, you're plugged in. This is your battery. You won't really ever need to do anything with the battery. So you just get regular gasoline, not diesel, regular. 87's fine. Keep the cost down. All right. This is your outside shower. This is probably my favorite part of the RV because I don't fit in the inside shower. This is your outside shower. So if the pump was on, and this shows you how to use the inside too. If the pump was on, you would turn on, which it's on, so great. You got your water, and then you've got your little controller that turns on and off here. Make sure these though are turned off, otherwise it'll always leak. All right, so that's the outside shower. Moving along. This is hot, it says hot. This is for your furnace, so don't put your hands on that. These are the sewer. In fact, right now you see it dripping a little bit because I have the shower lines open. So here's the fun part. You've got this side here. Make sure that it is securely in the drain that's right next to your campsite. Or if you're at a house, you can use a house sewer clean out. I've had predicaments using that. So probably use a campsite or go through a official dump facility because it just makes it easier. Now the shower is open, and I'll show you why it's open. I left it open on purpose. These are how the valves work. This is your shower. This is your toilet. I don't have the toilet open for a reason, because I don't want it dripping right now, because there's always going to be some dripping. So the toilet is the bigger valve. It's a bigger line right there. See how it's big? The shower is a smaller line, tiny little line, right? So the shower is open, and the way you open and close is you have the gauge or the valve, and you push in, and now it's closed. And you open, and now it's open. Now, I'll turn it around so you can see my face, or Brooke can. When you dump, you want to dump the big first, because that has all the solids and all the yucky. So you would hook this up, you would pull, make sure this has a rock on it, or you're standing on or something, because if you have too much pressure, it could pop up, and you don't want that to happen. A lot of times there's a cap that you can put on it. There's also adapters that we provide. You pull the valve out, you hear everything emptying out. Try to get this as straight as possible. It collapses also. Try to get it as straight as possible, and you'll hear it empty. Just walk away or hang out and put your foot on it so it's not going to go anywhere. And then when you hear that done dumping, close the big valve and then open the shower valve. The shower valve will just rinse all of the yucky out. Sometimes I'll shake it just to kind of get all the water to go out. My hands aren't touching anything yucky, and it's simple. Just make sure this is on and that's in there, and you won't ever have a mess. All right, so that's the fun part. So I'm gonna close the valves, unhook this, throw the cap on, and that's the worst part of RVing. Generator you won't touch, but this is where the generator is. Walking around, go around to the front. Nothing real interesting here. Come on around here, Brooke. As you see, I put the cover on right now so you can kind of take a look. It slips on the top right here, and it has a magnet. So slip it on, magnet, close the door, wrap it around, do the same to the other side. Okay, last, propane. You'll never have to use this unless you're on a big trip. If you run out of propane, it only takes 2 to 3 weeks to run out of propane. That's because you're cooking a lot, you're using the furnace a lot, you're using the refrigerator the whole time. This is your propane. Regular places, gas stations will fill up propane. So you just drive up, U-Hauls fill up propane. You just drive up, say fill it up, costs you between $30 to $60 to fill up. $30 to $45 to fill up. But you won't have to do this on your trip. This is your hot water heater. This is hot. Don't touch it. You'll burn yourself if it's running. And lastly, your refrigerator. If you're not hooked up to power, you'll always hear this running because it's keeping it cold all the time. But your refrigerator, we got some plugs. And that's the rig on the outside. Thank you.